everybody. So we just did legs, just rocked them out, and now we're gonna get into our cool down routine for legs. What do we use for our legs? We use our glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves, even our tibialis, ankles, whatever we have you. We're gonna cool those down now, but first, as always with the cool down, we wanna make sure we inhibit the signals that we're contracting, and then we're gonna lengthen those muscular groups to get them back, muscles back into resting length, preparing them for another better exercise and training whenever you feel like doing so. So, we're gonna take our trusty foam roller and we're gonna roll. I like to roll from the hamstrings, then the quads, then the calves, then the tibialis. So I'm gonna roll posterior and then anterior. You can do it whatever way you want, but this is just how I do it. This is just how I like to do it, how I've been doing it for forever. So just get your foam roller and you're gonna place it down this way, right? And you're gonna lean back to where your hamstrings are on the roller. I'm gonna move the roller like so. So we're gonna roll the hamstrings all the way, right, up to the upper portion of our legs where our glutes and hamstrings meet. There we go. We're gonna foam roll for about 30 to 90 seconds. These are my favorites. Yes. So, let me rotate the camera rotate my body rather like so, right? Stretch out all the way to the top. Back, all the way to the top. Back to where your shin meets your hamstring, all the way out to where your glute meets the hamstring again. You're rolling the entirety of the muscular group. Between 30 to 60 seconds per roll, all right? Next, we're gonna roll out our quads. So, we could place the foam roller to where the upper part of the thigh is what's hitting the foam roller because we're gonna roll it all the way back. So we want that full range of motion throughout. So we're gonna place the foam roller here to where our the upper part of our thigh is on the roller, and we're gonna roll ourselves out, right? And back, and out, and back. Move this back a little bit. Oh, there we go, better. Out, and back, out, and back. Just keep rolling again for 30 to 60 seconds each. If you feel a point of tension, like I feel this point right here, right? Right with my vastus medialis, I said, like the lower part of my thigh, the inner part of my thigh. I ain't gotta give you all those technical terms. But like the inner part of my thigh is like really, really, really sore. So I'm gonna place the foam roller to where I feel that tension point, and I'm going to flex my quads over the foam roller. And I'm gonna extend the legs to where the muscle is really, really contracted, but it's on the foam roller, so it's inhibiting that signal. But I really want that tension point to be flexed. So I'm gonna perform a few contractions here, just so you can see, right? Really tighten that muscle right over the foam roller. Ooh, the squats. Ooh, they do it to you every time. Here we go. One more, and hold over the roller. Like so. Good. Cool. Now we're gonna foam roll the calves, right? Once again, having the foam roller at the bottom of the calf because you're gonna be rolling towards the top, right? So you really wanna start at the bottom so you can give yourself that full range of motion. Brace with the upper part of your body, brace with your hands, and roll over the calves. If you want added tension, right, you can even do this with your hamstrings. You can cross one foot over the other. Let's say one calf is like extremely tight, or even both calves, and you want a little bit more pressure over the muscle. Take one foot, place it over the other, and use that additional pressure to really get that roll in. Oh, that's good. There we go. There we go. This is really, really tight for me. So also, if your feet turn out as you squat, sometimes I have that issue. There's a good chance that your muscles are tight where the foot meets your actual calf, right? And that since that muscle is tight, it's gonna turn your foot out. So these are really, really good for corrective exercise motions. So we're gonna switch feet. And we're gonna roll over the entirety of our calf, like so. Oh, this is great. I love this. I mean, it hurts, but you know it's helping. So I love it. Oh, there we go. All right. So next we're gonna foam roll our tibialis, right? Like your shin bones, the muscle around your shins, you wanna foam roll that out as well, right? So you wanna place the foam roller at the bottom of your feet, like so, right? Get that roller into position at the bottom of your legs so you can have this full range of motion here. So we're gonna roll this back just a little bit more, boom, like so. Bring that up a little bit. And you can get into like an elbow plank position just to be able to brace yourself and roll over the musculature, like so. Bit of a core workout while you're at it, right? So if that's too much, right, you can lay flat and just roll over the muscle. And again, like the calf, you could take one foot, place it on top of the other to get additional tension in the roll. Like so. We're gonna finish rolling both of these out. Like so. All right, good. Now time for the ab and adductor foam roll. I know I didn't introduce that in the beginning, but we're gonna foam roll our abductors, meaning the muscles that move our legs away from the midline of the body, and the adductors, meaning the muscle groups inside the anterior thigh that move our legs towards the midline of our body. And these control our positioning and posture and balance when we squat, but if they're over or underactive, that compromises knee integrity, meaning like knee valgus, meaning your knees collapse inward as you squat, or knee varus, or as your knees bow out. So you do want to get those muscles, again, back to resting length, so they're not over-contracted, and they're not inhibiting your ability to squat properly. So we're going to start with the abductors, here. And this is like known as like the TFL roll. A lot of people do this when they have problems with their knees, but there's a good chance that it comes from other sources. It could be the foot, could be your TFL, tensor fasciae latae, like the muscle up here, right? It could be that as well.
That's not the like.
We're only going to do these adductors
Yeah.
for now.
Good.
And we're going to place the foam roller a little lower so we can get all the way down to the leg. There we go. Oh, so this particular point is tight for me right here. So I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna flex my quad over the foam roller. Again, it's gonna be painful, but it helps in the long run. And keep rolling. And we're done with this. On to the other side. All right, like so. "30 seconds to a minute of each roll, and then we're gonna go to the adductors. Whew. All the way down, all the way out, all the way down, all the way out. Way down and all the way out. My abductors are particularly tight. So my feet sometimes externally rotate, so this is something I have to do all the time. Oh, wow. Whew, okay. So now we're gonna move on to the adductors, and we're gonna place the foam roller right on the inner part of our thigh, right like so. So we're resting on the foam roller and we're gonna roll the inner part of our thigh, all right? Roll the inner part of the thigh. Now, if you want to actually get an additional stretch and really get that stretch in there, you're going to place the foam roller down here and you're going to extend the leg out to where it's straight and you're going to roll over the roller. So, place it inside like so and roll out. Keeping that leg straight, getting that muscle to really stretch before you foam roll it over. Right, just gonna bend it and roll. All right, switch to the other side, same thing. Inside the leg, and roll. And extend the leg out and roll. Oh, that's tight right there for me. That right there, yeah, that's the spot. All right. Whew. That was a lot of stretching. That was a lot of foam rolling. You can actually just do that as your cool down, and that's actually enough if you don't have time to like stretch afterwards, because this is a pretty lengthy cool down. So if you don't have time to stretch, at the very least, inhibit those signals with the foam roller. It really helps that overcontraction, that DOMS, that delay onset muscular soreness symptoms and syndrome or whatever, really helps with that. But if you do have time to stretch, we're gonna get into our quad stretches. So if you have your foam roller, you can use it as a brace, right? And I like to bring my quad or my leg behind the other, right? Using the opposite hand to grab my foot and stretch the quad that way. Again, we're gonna stretch for 30 seconds, keeping this foam roller as a way to brace and balance. If you don't have that, you can also use the wall. Just make sure you're using something stable because you wanna focus on the stretch and not necessarily your balance. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna switch legs, right? Bringing one leg behind the other and stretching. I feel like this way allows me to not only get the stretch in my quad, but also in my hip as I pull back across my body. It's just the way I like to do it. If you grab same side, no problem, right? Same side, meaning you grab from here and pull, no problem at all, right? But I just like to do it like this. Okay. Whew. All right, so now we're gonna stretch out our ab or adductors, right? We're gonna get into a lunge stretch, a side lunge stretch, right? So our legs are gonna be outside of our body, right? Our feet are gonna be outside of our shoulders, rather. And we're going to side lunge to where we feel this stretch, not only in our adductors here, but our hip flexors there, all right? So we're gonna hold that, right? If you have trouble balancing, again, trusty foam roller, balance on the foam roller. So again, you're focusing more on the stretch than the actual balance. You could also balance against a wall. So we're gonna do so like this. And we're gonna switch sides. Really try to get into that stretch, like really lean into it. If you're having trouble doing that, take a breath. And as you exhale, get into your stretch, so like so. And good. Next, we're gonna get into our hamstring stretch. So we can do this a couple of ways, right? We can have our feet outside our shoulders and reach towards the ground, right? Making sure we touch the floor. And we're gonna stretch the hamstrings out this way. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. Whew. Try to get deeper and deeper into the stretch by breathing. So again, inhale, exhale, and get deeper. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, right? You see how my hands are almost touching the floor now? Like my palms are almost touching the floor? That's just from inhale and exhale. All right, now we're gonna get into another hamstring stretch where we flex and bend, or we're gonna bend the knees We're gonna alternate that to get a deeper stretch into each individual hamstring. So you're gonna start by touching your toes, reaching towards your toes, like so. You're gonna stretch for about 10 seconds, and then you're gonna alternate bending knees and holding that stretch. So I'm gonna show you right from here, right? You're gonna see my left knee bend now, right? Left knee bends, the right hamstring is really stretching out now. Try to touch the floor, just get deeper into your stretches. Next, we're gonna do the other side, right? I just want you to see my right knee bend, right? I'm gonna touch the toes, and the right knee is going to bend. Stretching that left hamstring out to its max. All right, good. So now we're gonna stretch our hip flexors, right? We're gonna get into a seated position. The feet, the soles of our feet are gonna be together, and we're gonna grab our feet and we're gonna pull them into our body, right? So your feet are gonna be out here, right? Starting, grab the feet, soles together, pull into your body and stretch. My feet smell like I've been training for like 2 hours now, so I'm doing this for y'all because I really want to shower. Oh, but this feels good and it's necessary. You guys got to stretch. I didn't do it for a large portion of my training career, and it cost me a few, so I make sure I cool down as hard as I warm up and even harder than I train sometimes, you know? And for extra stretch, you're gonna take your elbows, place them on your thighs and push down, making sure you breathe to allow your body to get into its parasympathetic nervous system and relax. So breathe, stretch, breathe, stretch, breathe, stretch. So every time I did that, I pressed down on the elbows a little harder, pressed down on my thighs a little harder, got into the stretch a little deeper. Oh. Last but not least, we're gonna do a cross leg rotational stretch. So we're gonna take our leg, our right leg, we're gonna place it over our left, right, like so. We're gonna take our left hand, place it on our right knee, and rotate towards our right side to stretch that lower back out. All right, after about 30 seconds, we're gonna alternate sides and rotate. All right, that was our lower body cool down. Again, really get into those stretches. Cooling down is just as important as warming up, and probably more important than, or not more important than training, but just as important as training. Because if you don't cool down properly, you don't get those muscles back to resting length. Training the next day, you're gonna feel extremely, extremely sore. Some people actually like that. I know for me, I actually kind of like it, but it only places you in a compromising position, and it limits your training because you're sore and you can't really get into your exercises properly. Warm-ups take longer, yada, yada, yada. So make sure you cool down effectively and efficiently every single workout. That was our lower body cool down. Yo, keep rocking out, keep doing your thing.